Here's an illustration on how to achieve this backless princess dart dress. This illustration will be in a miniature form. So I've marked the shoulder to bust, under bust and waist, which is for the upper part of this pattern. Go ahead to mark your shoulder divided by 2 plus half inch because this dress has a sleeve, and come down by 1 inch. Mark a neckline of 2.8 by 2 inches or 2.5. Place your ruler to connect. After connecting, slant from the neckline to the shoulder. Go ahead to find your chest line by dividing your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Draw a straight line at that point and then mark back your shoulder divided by 2 plus half. Now place your ruler and take this all the way up. Go ahead to divide your armhole into 2 and come in by half inch. At that chest line, mark your bust circumference divided by 4. Connect from the upper part to the midpoint of the armhole and down to the bust circumference divided by 4. Now I'll start by marking my dart intake. Mark your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Place your ruler and draw a straight line. After marking this, connect from the bust to the waist. Divide your armhole into 2 and connect to the bust point. Go ahead to mark your dart intake. Mark half here and 1.5 here. If you're a plus size, mark 1 inch here and 2 inches on the other side. Now connect from the bust to the under bust and repeat this at the other side of your pattern. Mark half inch on both sides of your initial dart line and blend in. Now this half inch on both sides, extend it out, giving you 1 inch, and connect back to the armhole. Mark your bust circumference divided by 4. Do the dart intake at your armhole and add half inch. Mark your under bust circumference divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace and add your sewing allowance. Mark your waist circumference divided by 4. Go ahead to measure the dart intake that you have here. Replace it by the side and add your sewing allowance. Use any sewing allowance of your choice. Go ahead to place your ruler, connect from the bust to the under bust and to the waist. Mark your bust dart. To get your bust dart is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. So I'll go ahead to mark my bust dart. Then for the neckline, go ahead to cut out a collar, that is after you're done sewing. I'll just go ahead and I will cut this out. After cutting this out, we are done for the front pattern and we'll move over to that of the back. Remember to blend out your dart while cutting. Now I'll put this aside. Let's cut our skirt. Mark here as my waistline. Measure 7 inches and mark your hip point. From there, place your tape and mark your waist to knee line. After marking your waist to knee line, come up by 2 inches from here. It's because you want to have a fitted effect at this part of your pattern. At the waist, mark your waist circumference divided by 4. Add your sewing allowance. At the hip, mark your hip circumference divided by 4 and then add your sewing allowance. Whatever you have on the hip, minus 2 inches from there and mark it at these 2 inches we came up at the knee point. Now take that measurement all the way to the lower part of your pattern. Now go ahead to connect from the bust to the hip and all the way to the lower part. So after that, go ahead to cut this out. Now after cutting that out, this is what I have for this pattern. Now you can use this to cut out your back. Just add like a zipper at the back of the dress. Place on your fabric and add a zipper. Now to work on the front side, we have like a opening or slit. Now this is towards one side of the pattern. From the middle, come out to the other side and create like an opening or slant from this side. I'll go ahead to cut this out. After cutting out, let's go ahead to draft the back pattern. This is what I have for the front. For the back, I marked my zipper allowance, my shoulder to bust, and my shoulder to waistline. So this is the same process of getting your chest line just like we did for the front. The only difference is that the shoulder to waist at the back is shorter. For the back neckline, use 3 by 1 inch, and for the zipper allowance, use 2 inches or 1.5. Go ahead to mark your nipple to nipple divided by 2, starting after the zipper. Place your ruler and go ahead to connect at this point. The dart intake, I'll mark half inch at both sides of my pattern and I'll extend this all the way up and also extend this towards the other side. Now I will insert my bust circumference divided by 4 and just add a sewing allowance. There's no dart here. Now here I'll mark my waist circumference divided by 4. Then go ahead to measure this dart intake I have there. Replace it here, add ½ inch. Now I'll go ahead to place my ruler to connect. So after connecting that, we'll go ahead to alter this pattern. At the back, come down by 1 inch or 1.5, or you can extend it to 2 inches. So from there, you're going to extend this going all the way towards the sides of your pattern. This totally depends on how open you want this to be. You can come up by 3 inches from the lower part or 3.5. Blend in your dart before going ahead to draw out this side. I'll extend it to the zipper, and from this zipper point I'll come in by ½ inch, extend this all the way up. Now we are taking out the zipper bulge here. I'll go ahead to make a dot to indicate that that point has an eyelet. So if you cut out your pattern this way, you will notice that the opening at the back will be gaping because of this cutout we are going to have here. So you're going to add like a dart at both sides, a dart of 0.25 on each side of this line, and blend it in, and also repeat that to the upper part. Draw a line and mark a dart of 0.25 at both sides and blend it out. This will help tighten that part of your pattern to avoid it gaping while putting on your dress. I'll just go ahead to cut this out.